In the headlines tonight,
you find somebody getting a boda and is riding, putting people's lives at risk.
Speaker of Parliament Anita Among says there is need to amend the Traffic and Road Safety Act to address the carnage on Uganda's roads. Entrepreneurs have been asked to desist from getting loans for startups because they are leading causes of business failure. Also tonight, fighting in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo continues between government forces and the M23 rebels near the strategic city of Goma in North Kivu province. And in sports, KCCA and Bayonje are set to lock horns tomorrow in one of 4 matches in the Uganda Netball Super League at Kamocha Community Center. Hello, good evening and welcome to CTV PM Edition. My name is Agi Oase with Isaac Luchamzi on sign language. Welcome back from the presidential address on the Ebola outbreak, among other issues. If you missed out on watching it this evening on CTV, we'll be able to bring to you all the details in regard to it in a subsequent programming. But kickstarting off tonight, the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, says there is an urgent need to amend the Traffic and Road Safety Act to address the increasing number of road accidents. Police reports indicate that most accidents in Kampala city involve border riders. Now, given absence a modern and safe transport system in the city, the borders are used by thousands of city dwellers on a daily basis. Let's take a look.
During today's communication today, Among said the existing Traffic and Road Safety Act needs to be amended to incorporate heavy and punitive penalties to reckless motorists.
The unfortunate bit again is that we politicize these things. When we say let's do this to the border riders, we say it is politics. Let's not politicize these things. If we are saying we need the census of these borders, we need all the borders to be deregistered and registered after testing. Persons who are supposed to regulate do not do their parts. Instead of regulating how somebody is given a license, how testing, that is not done. So you find somebody getting a boda and is riding, putting people's lives at risk. This is...
Among has also faulted officers who issue driving permits to untested drivers.
While we continue lamenting, I want to request the government to have strict regulations on registration and licensing of borders, including the riding proficiency, the awareness of the traffic rules and regulations, and the general safety considerations. Active enforcement of the traffic plans, the laws and regulations, notably the Traffic and Road Safety Laws 204, must be enforced. Enactment of penalties for breaches of the traffic regulations. That is pursuant to the Traffic and Road Safety Regulations 2004.
According to the chairperson of the Parliamentary Committee of Health, Charles Ayomi, in the last 3 years, road accidents have been on a rise. In 2019, road safety report indicates that 8,380 people died in road accidents, and the number increased to 12,159 in 2021.
Motorcyclists accounted for the biggest number of fatalities in all the 4 years, followed by passengers on the motorcycles, followed by pedestrians. So, Right Honourable Speaker, there is clear evidence to show that motorcycles, commonly known as borders, are the biggest cause of injuries, but most importantly, deaths from road traffic accidents.
The third Deputy Prime Minister, Rukia Dama and the State Minister for Works, Musa Echweru, said there is need to enforce the existing laws because they are punitive enough to reduce recklessness on the road.
Like government should come up with the regulations, the licenses, the penalties, and many others that I cannot again repeat.
Concerned about the roads, we are concerned about the vessels, and also how we tame the managers. We have an array of interventions in terms of laws and regulations that would be very happy to again come and share with this Honorable House.
MPs have varying opinions on the matter.
I think the most important thing, for example, is government first doing what it has to do. Right, Honorable Speaker, when you drive on our roads, it is totally dark everywhere you go. And so you wonder what happens. And for example, one of our members of parliament, former members of parliament, lost his life on the bypass because it was dark.
Speaker, this whole country will need to observe rules. And you don't remove them because they are not convenient to you, and Parliament will need to learn. We are the ones here who removed the term limits when it was time for our president to observe them. The moment you misbehave, you are inviting borders also to begin violating traffic rules. So when you asked, I think what we need to do is to remove the president so we can get a leader who observes rules, and then everybody will follow.
Speaker Among tasked the Ministry of Works and Transport to avail a well-detailed report on the road safety to guide Parliament on the next move. Sarah Nakandi for CTV PM Edition.
MPs on the ICT Committee of Parliament have inspected the National ICT Innovations Hub to interrogate its operations and status in the 2022-2023 financial year. Now, the hub was constructed to establish a reliable and fitting work environment for ICT innovators who are facing challenges of internet connectivity.
The hub was constructed by the government through the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance. Besides the workspaces, which seats over 100 users, the Innovation Hub has presentation rooms, a boardroom, and a 350-seater auditorium for workshops and other events. Members of Parliament on the ICT Committee inspected the hub to interrogate the status of its operations and functionality of business process outsourcing. The Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance, Amina Zawede, presented the report for the 2022-2023 final year, where she said the hub has got various achievements for the short time it has been in place.
So on the enabling environment, we are doing well. On the infrastructure, we are at 50%. So if we have this, the project, one of the projects that we are presenting to Parliament, and there is another Chinese funded project that is coming on board, we shall extend our infrastructure from 50% where we are at now to about 70% plus in the next 2 to 3 years. Then on the skilling, we are not doing well. We are rating at about 40%. So we have to put our energies on ensuring that we get the right skills for digital transformation. Also in research and innovation, we are at about 39%.
Members of Parliament were impressed by the work at the centre.
This is the key. You said we are at 39%. Actually, for us to be able to now make it, East Africa now is 283 million people. Such large opportunities for any of the products you're producing here. And beyond that, 1.2 billion in Africa. So the opportunities for exporting this is amazing. So we are ready to support you in the push to be able to produce solutions that can help Uganda, East Africa, and Africa.
The State Minister for ICT, Joyce Nabosa Sobogwawo, says the hub was created to support the realization of locally developed technological innovations.
A, promotion of local innovations. B, increase import substitutions. And C, improved coordination within the ICT innovation ecosystem.
Tony Patila Humza, CTV, PM Edition.
KCCA's effort to have a clean city have been enhanced by the distribution of personal protective gears to casual laborers who work in Rubaga Division. They were handed over to them by KCCA Executive Director Dorothy Kisaka.
KCCA has over 5,000 casual workers who do different work of cleaning the city. They sweep streets, they silt trenches, among other works, to ensure that the city is clean. The Executive Director of KCCA, Dorothy Kisaka, appreciated the workers based in Rubaga Division for the exceptional work they do in Kampala City, despite different challenges. Kisaka says that they have different categories of casual workers who need protective gears to assist them execute their work.
We have people who sweep, we have people who clean drainages, we have people who slash, and different other categories of people. One of the things they need is gear. They need overalls, helmets, gloves, reflectors, and we are working with the different business partners and even development partners to ensure that always our people have this gear.
She says, apart from their budgetary means, KCCA will partner with various business partners to ensure that the PPEs are availed to all its workers in the city.
We've increased the numbers. Initially there were only 2,000, but now we've increased the numbers largely, so we need a large amount of PPEs. We are working together with our business partners, development partners, and of course from our own GOU budget to ensure that our frontliners are well protected.
Kisaka also handed over food rations to the workers. Sharon Twebaze, CTV PM Edition.
We take a short break and we'll be right back with more stories. Do stay with us.
I'm Biarhanga Boss, Mayor Player of the Year, and Uganda Cranes midfielder and Vipers Sports Club. I started in the village where I come from. I come from Tsolo. I'm a Mfumbira. I started from Tsolo Young Simba. I played for Young Simba and Halambe Soccer Academy.
He will go for a shot! Thunderbolt from the best player for Biarhanga!
They see me on TV, they feel happy to play for the national team. Just out of football, I like chilling with my friends, even like watching basketball, because me, I love basketball, and I'm a fan of City Oilers in Uganda.
Nirvana packaged drinking water is a product of Crown Beverages Limited, makers of Pepsi products. That's life, that's Nirvana.
Hits it in the air, will that be set?
Recharge your day with Sting. Extreme energy, refreshing taste, available countrywide. Sting, life switched on, from the makers of Pepsi.
Thank you for staying with us and welcome back. You're watching CTV PM Edition with me, Agi Uwase, and Isaac Luchamzi in sign language. Now, moving on, Uganda as a country has continued to raise the bar high with its film industry following the nomination of the first Ugandan film at the Academy Awards. Now, today, some young filmmakers have been awarded a scholarship to study a diploma in filmmaking in a bid to nurture talent. Hope Nyongereza has more.
The Uganda film industry has for the last couple of years steadily grown, with many of the Ugandan movies penetrating international cinemas and making it on the video-on-demand platforms such as Netflix.
Uganda Communications Commission and the Director of Industry Affairs and Content.
In a bid to grow the industry, Uganda Communications Commission have partnered with different stakeholders such as the Cine Arts Academy to empower young filmmakers with skills in the industry. Today, 16 young filmmakers who have been attending the program with Cine Arts Academy managed to graduate with certificates in filmmaking and will now upgrade to the diploma program to get equipped with more skills.
Celebrate the graduates of the Cine Arts Academy partnership with Uganda Communications Commission.
With the selection of Tembele as the first Ugandan-made film to grace the prestigious Academy Awards, also known as the Oscars, Uganda Communications Commission believes that many Ugandans have the potential to create and improve Uganda's local content to the international standards.
But we're so proud that 434 students managed to complete successfully, because there were even examinations they had to take. They actually get a certificate in the respective programs that they did. And from this, they are able to go on and progress to diploma and even a degree level in the same program.
The students who have been awarded scholarships got skills in the areas of photography, film editing, film production, animation, and camera works, among others. Some of the young filmmakers had this to say.
The things I would like to do is to thank the UCC. This shows me that there was a good needs assessment for the film industry. One of the things that the industry needs was training. We were working without principles of screenwriting or camera operation, but this training has offered us with the basic and principles of how to make movies.
Privileged and humbled to be a film instructor, and I hope that with this knowledge that I will acquire, then I get to pass it on to the others that are not able to get this opportunity, but also to show the rest, especially when you're coming from a place like Kabale, which is very far from Kampala, and we're used to people getting opportunities here, but that I'm here to inspire the rest that are back home.
The Uganda Communications Commission has for long played a significant role in supporting the film industry, and each year it organizes Uganda Film Festival to promote the cinema culture.
In our regional news tonight, fighting in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo continued on Monday between government forces and the M23 rebels near the strategic city of Goma in North Kivu province. And population growth in Nigeria is scaring planners, with more than 15 million people in Lagos who are struggling or competing for basic amenities of life.
Fighting in Eastern DRC Congo continued on Monday between government forces and the M23 rebels near the strategic city of Goma in North Kivu province. Former Kenyan President and EAC mediator Uhuru Kenyatta arrived in Kinshasa on Sunday for peace talks set to take place on November 21st. On Sunday, Kenyatta said that all groups who currently bear arms should lay those arms down and choose the path of peace through dialogue, because there is nothing that can be gained through the barrel of a gun. Kenyatta, a former president of Kenya and East African Community, is a facilitator on the peace process in the eastern region of the Democratic Republic of Congo. The Congolese government accuses Rwanda of supporting the rebels, an accusation rejected by Kigali. Kenyatta says that the DRC Congo is no longer the battleground for problems that are not from its territory. Eastern DRC Congo was the theater of two bloody regional wars in the 1990s, leaving scores of armed groups that remained active in the region. Over the next 3 decades, the West African nation's population is expected to soar even more. Nigeria's population rose from 216 million people this year to 375 million. The United Nations say making Nigeria to the 4th most populous country in the world after only India, China, and the United States. Tuesday marks the UN projection for when the world's population is expected to hit 8 billion people, though officials are careful to note it's not a precise milestone. Nigeria is among the 8 countries that the UN says will account for more than half the world's population growth between now and 2050, along with Congo, Ethiopia, and Tanzania, among others. Other countries rounding out the list of those contributing most to the population increase are India, Pakistan, and the Philippines. Such rapid population growth also means more people vying for increasingly scarce water resources and potentially more families facing hunger as climate change increasingly impacts crop production. The UN has said that slowing population growth over many decades could help to mitigate the further accumulation of environmental damage in the second half of the current century. In sub-Saharan Africa, the population is growing at 2.5%, more than 3 times the global average. Some of that can be attributed to people living longer, but family size remains the driving factor. Women in sub-Saharan Africa on average have 4.6 births each, twice the current global average of 2.3. Part of that can be traced to the high rate of child marriage, with 4 out of 10 girls married before they reach the age of 18, according to UN figures.
And elsewhere in the world, crowds of residents in southern China's industrial metropolis, Guangzhou, have escaped a compulsory lockdown and clashed with police as anger at strict coronavirus curbs boiled over. Against the backdrop of the G20, other international organizations are working to come to shared resolutions on the global affairs of the day. Let's take a look.
Dramatic footage shows someone overturning a police vehicle and tearing down COVID control barriers. Riot teams have now been deployed in the area. It follows Guangzhou's worst COVID-19 outbreak since the pandemic began. Amid bad economic figures, China's zero COVID-19 policy is under enormous strain. Tensions had been building in the city's Haizu district, which is under stay-at-home orders. The area is home to many poorer itinerant laborers. They have complained of not being paid if they are unable to turn up for work and of food shortages and skyrocketing prices while living under COVID control measures. For several nights, they had been tussling with the white-clad COVID prevention enforcement officials, and then overnight on Monday, the anger suddenly exploded onto the streets of Guangzhou with a mass act of defiance. Again, unsubstantiated rumors have played a role. Stories have spread that the testing companies are faking PCR results to artificially boost the number of infections in order to make more money. In the north of the country, the coronavirus rumor mill is also building pressure. Officials in Hebei province announced that the city of Shijiazhuang would halt mass testing. But this led to speculation that the population was going to be used guinea pig style to monitor what would happen if the virus was allowed to spread unchecked. Yesterday, the UN General Assembly passed a resolution saying Russia should face the consequences of its actions in Ukraine, including paying reparations. It also recommends that member states, in collaboration with Ukraine, create an international register to record evidence and claims against Russia. General Assembly resolutions may carry symbolic weight, but they do not have the power to enforce compliance. Indeed, Russian ambassador to the UN Vasilina Benzia labeled the resolution legally null and void and accused the West of trying to draw out and worsen the conflict. Chief's UN ambassador Sergei Kisilstia told the assembly that in addition to needing finance to rebuild infrastructure, recovery will never be complete without a sense of justice for the victims of the Russian war, adding it is time to hold Russia accountable. The resolution was supported by 94 out of 193 member states, while 14, including Russia, China, and Iran, voted against it. The remaining countries all abstained.
We take a very short break and we'll be right back with news from the world of sports. Do stay with us.
If I start talking about what football has done for me, of course I will not finish all of them, because football has really done a lot for me. Of course, playing for the national team makes me happy to represent my people, because whenever I'm here in the national team, back home there people are watching me, so they are proud of me. Like whenever I go back, they feel happy because their boy is in the national team, and it's something which is it's not easy, because I think in West Nile, I don't know how many players are there, but I think right now. They are there, but I don't know, but they are happy because I've been there with them. They know that I'm their own, and to be their own, the national team, of course, it makes them happy. And sometimes if I don't play football, I play volleyball. I love playing volleyball. In the morning, football. In the evening, volleyball.
Nirvana Packaged Drinking Water is a product of Crown Beverages Limited, makers of Pepsi products. That's life. That's Nirvana.
Faisha Pictures International presents a new movie, Beneath Beauty. The killer is found dead and the victim on the run. Friday 25th November 2022 at Theatre La Bonita. Entrance will be 30K and VIP 50K. 6 p.m. Beneath Beauty will commence. Don't miss Aisha Chomohanji, Matovu Jr., DJ Nimrod, Allen Musumba, Edison Abitegeka, Dennis Duke, Namara Jole, Ziwa Jabba, Jackie Katutsime, Mushabe Daniel, the hottest Nigerian Kingsley Obiyekwe. Beneath Beauty is produced by Aisha Chomohanji, written and directed by Tumanyane Andrew. For bookings, please visit Sungura House Bukoto, Theatre La Bonita, Total Buyugerere, Total Bunamwaya, or download the Cinema UG app on both Android and iOS. You can contact Faisha Pictures at 0741-846-446. Beneath Beauty, a new movie by Faisha Pictures International at Theatre La Bonita on Friday 25th November. See you there.
Thank you so much for staying with us and welcome back. You're watching CTV PM Edition with me, Agi Uwase, and Isaac Luchamzi on sign language. Now moving on to the world of sports, KCCA and Weyonje are set to lock horns tomorrow in one of 4 matches in the Netball Super League at Kamwacha Community Center. On Saturday, KCCA defeated champions Nike, or National Insurance Corporation, who had not lost since 2019 in the league. They now hope to leapfrog Weyonje, who are in 3rd on the log. Let's take a look.
KCCA will entertain matching their best side Weyonje tomorrow in the Netball Super League. The Kasasulu girls are seeking a 4th win of the season, with the lightest coming after a slight 39-37 win over champions Nick. This was the first loss for Nick in 2 years following the unbeaten season last season. KCCA assistant coach Asani Kato is confident of a good performance tomorrow, as they have to beat the big teams to win the title. Weyonje, that is in the 3rd position, has 10 points from 7 games, and head coach JC Asimo says they are ready for tomorrow's encounter despite having a few absentees. In tomorrow's other games, champions and table toppers Nick will look to getting back to the winning ways as they play UPDF. Maltex Life Support will host Prisons, who will later return to the host 2nd-placed UCU, with all the matches at Kamwacha Community Stadium. Story by Noah Walakila for CTV PM Edition.
We've come to the end of CTV PM Edition. My name is Agi Oase with Isaac Luchamzi in sign language. Thanks for watching and have a good night.